I am calling to order the regular board meeting, which is hybrid, of the Cordova Recreational Park District at 6:30 p.m. on Wednesday, December 21st, 2022. And we will start with the call to order.
Thank you. I'd like to welcome to the podium our Human Resource Manager, Andrea White, to lead us in a moment of silence.
Good evening, Chair Lineback, Board of Directors, staff, and friends. I'd like to say a couple words before we have a moment of silence. So we're celebrating and honoring Dean Schobor this evening. You may not know him because he worked at our Cordova Golf Course for 13 years until he was 79 years old. He was a lover of golf. He loved the golf course, and he affected a lot of other staff and players with his love of the game and our course. As you know, all of us reverberate from each other. We all affect each other in our time here with, at the district, seeing each other day in and day out. You've heard sometimes you're with your coworkers more than you are with family, or more than you are with your friends. And he was here with us for 13 years, and we're honored tonight to say that we'll miss him. He died at 81 years old in November 7th of this year. So if you don't mind joining me for a few moments of silence. Thank you.
Thank you. So, thank you.
Thank you. I'd like to welcome to the podium Ronnie Johnson, the Secretary of the Cordova Recreation and Parks Foundation, to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
So I would like to introduce to the board and the public, Ani Johnson, who is one of our newer members to our Cordova Recreation and Parks Foundation, and she was appointed secretary just recently. So welcome to that. But a little background on Ani. She has a good history here in our community. Ani is living in the Rosemont area for the past 5 years. Before moving to Rosemont, she lived in Rancho Cordova for over 20 years and graduated from Cordova High School. After high school, she attended Sacramento State University, where she earned her Bachelor of Arts degree in sociology. And soon after, she pursued her MBA. She serves the state of California as a health program specialist at the Department of Healthcare Services. She is passionate about giving back to the community and aims to offer support and health equity to those who experience disparities. She is honored to be on the board as a board member and secretary of our Cordova Recreation and Parks Foundation. And thank you, Ani, for all of your years of support for CRPD and now our foundation. So thank you.
Roll call, please.
Thank you. We received advance notification that Vice Chair Reyes would be joining us remotely this evening. Director Sloan, Director Dancel,
Here.
Secretary Yearwood,
Here.
Vice Chair Reyes,
Here.
and Chair Line.
Now we move on to item B, comments by the public on non-agenda items.
Thank you. Members of the public may address the board on district topics not listed on this agenda. Speakers are limited to 3 minutes. It's a violation of state law for the board to discuss or take action on non-agenda items. Board members may only briefly ask clarifying questions or refer the matter to staff. And at this time, I do not see any requests.
Okay, thank you. So we are going on to special items.
Thank you. Item C1 is to adopt resolution 22/23-28 honoring Director Terry R. Linebaugh for 8 years of dedicated service to the Cordova Recreation and Park District.
Can I have a motion?
I move the board of directors adopt resolution 22/23-20, honoring Director Terry R. Linebaugh for 8 years of dedicated service to the Cordova Recreation and Park District.
Second,
Okay, second, Vice Chair Reyes, motion by Secretary Yearwood. Roll call vote, please.
Director Sloan,
Aye.
Director Danzel,
Aye.
Secretary Yearwood,
Aye.
Vice Chair Reyes,
aye.
and Chair Linebaugh.
Aye. And so now we're going to move on to item C2.
Thank you. Item C2 is to adopt resolution 22/23-29, honoring Director Inez L. Reyes for 16 years of dedicated service to the Cordova Recreation and Park District.
Okay, I would like to make a motion to approve that resolution, Chair Linebaugh. Thank you, Director Danzel. Roll call vote, please.
Director Sloan,
Aye.
Director Danzel,
Aye.
Secretary Yearwood,
Aye.
Vice Chair Reyes,
Aye.
and Chair Linebaugh.
Aye.
Thank you. Now we'll have the presentations of the resolutions.
Good evening. Bear with me as I go through a C scroll of accomplishments and honor. I'm going to start with Terry. So this is a resolution of the Board of Directors honoring Director Terry Linebaugh for 8 years of outstanding service as a board member for the Cordova Recreation and Park District. Whereas Terry R. Linebaugh faithfully served as a member of the Cordova Recreation and Park District Board of Directors since being elected on November 4th, 2014. And whereas with a distinguished background in special district finance and administration, Director Linebaugh brought her expertise to budget and finance and district policy standing committees throughout her tenure. And whereas Terry has been a strong advocate for fiscal responsibility, building district financial reserves, following best practices, updating budget and report formats, responsibly managing pension obligations, keeping the board apprised of grant applications, and streamlining meeting agendas. And whereas on November 28, 2016, Director Linebaugh was awarded the Recognition and Special District Governance Award for completing the Special District Leadership Academy. And whereas Terry served as the chairperson of the Board of Directors in 2017 and 2022. And whereas, as chairperson, Terry successfully led the ribbon cuttings of grand openings of the Sun River Park Park Course, Fair Landing Community Park, Beach Hut Deli at the Cordova Golf Course, and W.H. Williamson Park. And whereas Director Linebaugh has served as an ad hoc committee member for the General Manager Evaluation and the Cordova Community Pool MOU negotiation team. In 2017, she directed the establishment of the PMRID Oversight Nominating Standing Committee, ensuring compliance with the PMRID Oversight Committee operating guidelines, as well as participating in an ad hoc committee to update the guidelines. And whereas during her tenure as chairperson, CRPD received the CRPD Award of Distinction for Outstanding New Facilities, the Hillside Park, and CPRS District 2 Award of Recreation and Community Parks Programs for the Neil Orchard Senior Activity Center Green Thumbs Lunch Program. And whereas, in addition to her finance and policy endeavors at the district, Director Linebaugh has extensively and honorably served on additional governing boards, being appointed or elected to the Capri Board, Sacramento-Lafayette Special District Advisory Committee, the Cordova Community Planning Advisory Council, and the Sacramento County Consolidated Redevelopment Agency Oversight Board. And whereas Terry has been an engaged leader in the community as a member of the Rosemont Community Association, and also attending meetings of the Butterfield Riviera Community Association, otherwise known as BRCA, steering committee. And whereas Terry has actively supported and attended numerous CRPD events each year, she has been a welcome attendee at many of the employee recognition events, attended breakfast with Santa, and other activities with her family. Participated in the programs events at the Needle Orchard Center Activity Center, and always attends the board trunk or treat displays at Halloween at Hagen. And whereas Terry has always demonstrated a generous and kind spirit, donating to the CRPD's Community Connections activities, including clothing and canned food drives for unhoused students and needy children, and helping seniors and low-income residents prepare taxes during as a certified volunteer tax preparer. And whereas Terry inquisitively attention to detail, ability to bring a balanced perspective to the board, her direct nature and even her love of the ad hoc committees will be greatly missed by all. Now therefore be it resolved that the board of directors and the staff of the Cordova Recreation and Park District wish to honor Terry Leinbach and thank her for her 8 years of dedication and service to the district and the community. And it was passed and adopted today, December 21st, 2022. So welcome you and applauding and acknowledging all of this. So we have a beautiful plaque for her with the gavel. Or never love the gavel, right? So we will have this award from a bookcase that she has in the background of her Zoom meetings, and then also this resolution that we will also have signed by your fellow. So we'll do a picture. Do you want to have Richard do something? Sure. Yeah, sure. Can you do the resolution? And the resolution as well. Jill will be the side. Richard, you can come up to the side. Yeah.
Sure, come on.
Yeah, just come up.
Here, we'll take one.
Okay, along with Richard.
I'll let you hold the resolution.
Oh,
How's that?
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, and as I hope you're still with us, I see you there on Zoom. Okay, so I have a resolution also to go over for Inez Reyes. So this resolution, excuse me, is a resolution of the Board of Directors honoring Director Inez Reyes for 16 years of outstanding service as a board member for the Cordova Recreation and Park District. Whereas Inez L. Reyes faithfully served as a member of the Cordova Recreation and Park District Board of Directors since first being appointed on July 12, 2006. And whereas with a distinguished background in workforce development, Director Reyes has been an invaluable member of the district's policy standing committee for 9 years. With a keen and thorough understanding of CRPD's finances, she has been a consistent presence on the Budget and Finance Standing Committee for 13 years. And whereas Inez has been a strong advocate for community partnerships, fiscal accountability and sustainability, employee recognition, good governance, strategic planning, updating district policies, training and professional development, funding opportunities for youth employment, and securing sponsorships and grants. And whereas on November 28, 2016, Director Reyes was awarded the Recognition and Special District Governance Award for completing the Special District Leadership Academy. And whereas Inez served as chairperson of the Board of Directors in 2009, 2014, and 2018. She directed the facilitation of numerous town halls, work sessions, and community meetings, and successfully led the grand opening of Sunridge Park. And whereas Director Reyes has served on 2x2 committees with the city of Rancho Cordova and school districts within CRPD jurisdiction. The CRPD City, Fulton Cordova Unified School District, 2x2x2, the Cordova Community Pool MOU negotiation team, and the ad hoc committees for the 4th of July and marketing and public relations. And whereas Inez has always encouraged strong district identity, representation, and visibility in the community, as well as excellence in marketing and promoting the CRPD brand. She has led by example, making the board of directors approachable and accessible to the public and fostering and extending CRPD's community service philosophy. And whereas Director Reyes was very active in the establishment of the PMRID Oversight Committee, supporting early initiatives of clean and green and eyes on the park. She has always shown strong support for the Friends of Cordova, now Cordova Recreation and Parks Foundation. Understanding the value of fundraising and for forging business relationships in the community. And whereas during her tenure as chairperson, CRPD received awards for multi-purpose turf facility of the year, Mather Sports Center, Capri Safety and Loss Control, CRPD Awards of Distinction, Outstanding Technology, Social Media, and Marketing, and Outstanding New Facility, Heron Landing Community Park. CPRS Award of Excellence, Facility Design, Sports Field Complexes, Mather Sports Center, and District 2 Facility Design and Park Planning, Heron Landing Community Park. CSEA Innovation Program and Project Awards, Sunridge Park, Innovation Program of the Year for the Large Districts, Heron Landing Community Park. And whereas in addition to her policy and finance endeavors at the district, Director Reyes have honorably served on additional governing boards, being appointed or elected to the Sacramento LAFCO Special District Advisory Committee and the California Association of Park and Recreation Commissioners and board members. Remember that one. And whereas Inez has been an engaged leader in the community, participating in the Rancho Cordova Interfaith Rotating Winter Shelter, winning an Outstanding Service Award from the Cordova Community Council in 2016. She has devoted much of her time to attending events within the community, from the Chamber of Commerce to youth sports leagues, and she has exhibited particular fondness for supporting the Neil Orchard Senior Activity Center. And whereas Inez has always shown tremendous support for our staff, for many years she has provided a Thanksgiving feast for staff, often preparing it in her own home. She infuses a genuine care for people and never misses an opportunity to commend staff for their successes. And whereas Inez, district advocacy, strategic vision, contribution, positive relationships within the community, sense of humor, and even her love of board work, sessions and retreats will be greatly missed by all. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the board of directors and staff of the Cordova Recreation Park District wish to honor Inez Reyes and thank her for 16 years of dedicated service to our community. So thank you, Inez, for everything.
Thank you so very much. I wish I could be there with you guys, but obviously I can't because I don't want you all to get what I've just gotten. I'm still in it. It's a terrible flu. If I can just, Chair Lineback, if I can just say a few words.
Certainly.
I definitely, wow, 16 years, how fast time flies. And a lot of things done. But I do know that I wanted to make sure we would be financially stable, that we would have strong community engagement and outreach, that we would have equity in all our parks in our district. And I am very, very, very pleased. My first 10 years were very challenging and hard. We had 5 different administrators. It was difficult, but in the process, we finally knew what we needed. And when we stumbled upon Mr. Larkin, we knew he was it. And the last 5 years have been awesome. I want to thank my board members for their trust and support and respect for me. I know I will see you around. I want to thank the staff for all their hard work to keep our district family proud and respectable. And so I want to thank you all. I will miss you all, but I'll see you around. And I wanted to wish the new electeds. I want to congratulate Brian in his re-election. I want to congratulate Daniel and Mark on their successful election campaign. And I want to tell the new electeds, you are in the best team. You might not know it, but you will see it. Take care and go onward and forward. Thank you.
We will connect with you later, Renee, on getting you the resolution and the plaque. So thank you again for all your years of service.
Thank you. No problem.
Now I get to hijack the microphone without asking anyone's permission as chair. And I did want to thank each one of you, Rick, Brian, Michael, Inez. It's been a really rewarding experience over the last 8 years. You know, as everybody knows, I worked in special districts. I believe in special districts, and I was extremely proud to be able to work with this board for this special district, which, you know, provides the most direct services to our constituents. It's on the ground special districts. The dollars go directly to services in the community in a much more efficient way than the higher level of government can accomplish. So it's just really awesome to be able to work essentially on the ground for the people in our community. And I also want to thank General Manager Larkin. I mean, your dedication to this district with such integrity and lack of personal agenda, you know, has been why so much has been accomplished in such a short period of time. Your leadership is amazing, and we've always appreciated you for it, but I wanted to say it out loud. And of course, the other staff here, you know, in finance and recreation and parks and administration, and then the people who go out there every single day in the parks and work. And really, our parks are beautiful and they are award-winning. And it is due to the hard work of the people at this district. And so I appreciate you all so very, very much. And I appreciate the opportunity to have done this service. And I am very appreciative, Inez, that you mentioned our new electeds. It's a democracy. Congratulations on your win. And, you know, we wish the best for you going forward on this board and the best for this district. And we thank you for being willing to step up and serve. So we appreciate that. And those are my comments. So I'm not very good off the cuff, but so that's the best I could do. Sorry. Um, And as my last act of chair of this board, I would like us to consider item C3.
Thank you. Item C3 is to adopt resolution 22/23-30, accepting the certificate of facts for the board of directors from the November 8th, 2022 general election.
Okay, is there any kind of presentation on this item? Okay, so, can I have a motion, please, to accept the certificate of facts from the general election?
I move the board of directors adopt resolution 22/23-30, certifying election results, board of directors.
I second that motion. Thank you, Directors Danzel and Sloan. Roll call vote, please.
Director Sloan.
Aye.
Director Danzel.
Aye.
Secretary Yearwood.
Aye.
Vice Chair Reyes.
Aye.
And Chair Lineback.
Aye. Okay, at this time, we are going to have the oath of office.
Thank you. I will welcome each director up one at a time to administer the oath of office. Down at the podium, I'd like to first welcome Brian Danzel.
So just as a reminder, this is a ceremonial type of acceptance into office. So if we can reserve your applause or grand, applause until after they're sworn in, we'd appreciate that. Thank you.
Please raise your right hand and repeat after me. I, and state your name,
I, Brian Beasley,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support and defend
that I will support the Constitution
the Constitution of the United States
of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of California
and California,
against all enemies, foreign and domestic, that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of California, that I take this obligation freely without any mental reservation of purpose of evasion, and that I will well and faithfully discharge
I will faithfully discharge
the duties upon which I'm about to enter.
the
Congratulations.
We will also do, after we swear everyone in, photo ops for all electeds with their families. And so once we go through the ceremony, we will have an intermission break after that. And that will be an opportunity for you guys to do some photo ops.
Okay, I'd like to welcome to the podium Daniel Landian, please. Raise your right hand and repeat after me. I, and state your name,
I, Dane Lenny,
do solemnly swear
solemnly swear
that I will support and defend
that I will support
the Constitution of the United States
the United States
and the Constitution of the State of California
and California,
against all enemies, foreign and domestic, and that I will bear true faith and allegiance
that I will bear true faith and allegiance
to the Constitution of the United States
to the United States
and the Constitution of the State of California,
and California,
that I take this obligation freely
that I take this obligation freely
without any mental reservation
without any mental reservation
of purpose of evasion, and that I will well and faithfully discharge
that I will well and faithfully discharge
the duties upon which I'm about to enter.
the duties on which
Congratulations. Now I'd like to welcome Mark Mattis. Raise your right hand and repeat after me, please. I, and state your name,
I, Mark Bettis,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support and defend
to defend
the Constitution of the United States
the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of California against all enemies, foreign and domestic. That I will bear true faith and allegiance
and I will bear true faith
to the Constitution of the United States
to the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of California.
and the Constitution
That I take this obligation freely
of the United States
without any mental reservation
without any limitation
or purpose of evasion. And that I will well and faithfully discharge
that I will and faithfully discharge
the duties upon which I'm about to enter.
the duties of the law.
Congratulations. So at this time, we are going to have a scheduled recess for 15 minutes for refreshments and congratulations. Everyone is welcome in the community boardroom. After the recess, this meeting at the dais will change.
Got it. So feel free to come up and have the background for photo opportunities. We have Shelby, who is our communications and marketing guru, who will be more than happy to take pictures of.
All right, let's call the meeting back to order at 7:19. We're going to do a roll call vote.
Director Mattis.
Here.
Director Langen,
Here.
Director Sloan. Director Dancel.
Here.
And Director Yearwood.
Here.
Thank you.
All right, we'll move on to item D, the consent calendar.
Thank you. Consent calendar items are considered administratively routine and will be acted upon in one motion unless separate action on a specific item is necessary. The chairperson will consider any request for discussion on the items prior to approval of the consent calendar. And I would like to request to pull item D1 and D2 for separate votes and request that directors Mattis and Langen abstain from voting on those minutes, please.
Thank you. Any discussion on any of the items? On the items like this D3 and D4 at this moment? We have a motion.
I move the board of directors adopt items D3 and D4 from the consent.
Motion by Director Dancel. I second that motion. Second by Director Sloan. Roll call vote.
Director Mattis,
Abstain.
sorry, you can vote aye on these ones. These are for D3 and D4.
Aye.
Director Langen,
Aye.
Director Sloan.
Aye.
Director Dancel
Aye.
and Director Yearwood.
Aye. All right, and we'll move back to items D1 and D2. Motion or any discussion? All right, are you care to make the motion? I'll make that motion. And a second, please. I guess I'll second. How's that sound? So motion by Director Sloan, second by Director Yurd. Roll call votes.
Director Mattis,
Abstain.
Director Langen,
Abstain.
Director Sloan,
Aye.
Director Dancel,
Aye.
Director Yearwood.
Aye. All right, looks like we'll then move on to E, presentation.
Sorry, one more item, D2.
Oh, sorry, my bad, D2. Oh, we had to do them separately, that's right. Sorry. All right, motion for D2. I'll make the motion.
Second.
Motion by myself, and second by Director Danzel. Roll call vote.
Director Mattis,
Abstain.
Director Langen,
Abstain.
Director Sloan,
Aye.
Director Dancel,
Aye.
Director Yearwood.
Aye.
Thank you.
All right, we'll move on to F, just kidding. Item presentations. That's hard.
Okay, item E1 is a presentation by T-Mobile on a cell tower site proposal for Stone Creek Community Park. This is an informative presentation only, no action to be taken by the board of directors. And I'll turn it over initially to CFO Goodell.
All right, thank you. I guess I'll say board members, right? So this is a potential T-Mobile cell tower site for Stone Creek Community Park. This presentation is more about a get to know you. So we get an initial meeting with the prospective communications company. So no action, just kind of a kickoff presentation and general discussion that we're gonna have to introduce the applicant. And then later on in the process, we'll have the outreach. We'll have the public hearings and we'll negotiate an agreement and receive board input and potential approval. With that, I'd like to introduce Peter Perkins. He is representing the T-Mobile communications team. So he'll share more insight about the company, the project, and the benefits. Hello, Peter.
Good evening.
See if I can do this.
All right, there we go. Everybody still hear me?
Yes, we're good.
Okay, perfect. All right, good evening, board members. My name is Peter Perkins. I'm here along with my associate, Bruce Pyland. And we're here tonight to present to you a proposal for a monopine cell site at 3625 Spotto Drive in Rancho Cordova, otherwise known as Stone Creek Park. What we're proposing here is something for T-Mobile. T-Mobile is a leading carrier providing mobile phone service nationwide. I should also note that they also provide home internet service. So this would actually be helping out in effect with that as well. In an effort to remain a leader in the industry, T-Mobile is building out its infrastructure to deploy the latest technology and provide the fastest, most reliable service in the industry. At this site, T-Mobile is proposing a 65-foot monopine at the park designed to simulate the look of the surrounding trees and blend in as much as possible. The supporting ground equipment would be enclosed in a 30 by 20 black wrought iron fence with access leading from the street. Here you can see some photo simulations showing the current park as it looks now, and then with the monopine in place. The next slide shows a little bit more of the same. These are from obviously different views around the park. Here we have part of the site plan layout that shows the equipment as it would be placed in the right iron fence. That's the larger blue box on the right with the monopine on the right side there. Here is a larger picture of that. So you can see where the equipment would be all on the left there, and then that is the monopine with the antennas and the surrounding foliage designed to stealth and hide the pole and the equipment up top. The benefits of having a telecommunications site here is first off, it'd be available for co-location for other carriers, increasing coverage and speeds to surrounding residents on any network. The improved reception and speed for current and future T-Mobile customers, indoor and outdoor, and that includes home internet service as well. And then that would also include safe and fast 5G speeds. And past that, so in conclusion, the T-Mobile would be working together with the Cordova Recreation and Parks District and would like to bring better service to the surrounding residents. This includes increased speeds, better reception, indoor and outdoor, and the availability or the ability to access large amounts of data, both through mobile phone service and through home internet service. The opportunity for other carriers to locate on the same monopine is an added benefit to residents. I should also note that it's also an added benefit would be to the CRPD if others are able to co-locate on it. Part of what T-Mobile is planning here involves a lot of responsibility to the environment. The visual appeal and aesthetics of the surroundings is important to T-Mobile. A monopine tower allows is to be provided without taking away from the surrounding natural beauty and carefully intended planning design of the CRPD. So at this time, we are seeking the approval of not only the CRPD, but the surrounding residents as well, who we will serve. We're ready to work with your thoughts, concerns, and suggestions.
All right, thank you, Peter.
Welcome.
That's probably go down like we typically do and see if there's any comments or concerns from board members about the proposal. There is no action being taken tonight, but it's just more of a discussion topic.
Is there any, you're asking about public comment?
Yes.
Okay.
I do not see any requests.
All right, well, you should just start at the end of the dais. Ask you have any questions or concerns? No. Director Lang?
No.
Director Sloan?
I'll say something.
Sure.
I mean, it's not like it really blends in. I'm sorry, I look at the photographs and it sort of sticks up like a sore thumb. And it's, you mentioned that it's a pine tree and it's, you said it was gonna be surrounded by similar trees. I'm not sure I've seen pine trees around it. I know this is, I'm thinking, I know the area, there's that big kind of like a ditch that goes down. Is that where it is?
It's on the slope on top of the hill before it slopes down.
Before it slopes down, right?
Correct, because it, as you know, it drains into that
Right.
park and it floods. And so
It's
it's
it's the far west perimeter of the park. Far.
not west.
It's the corner.
If you're pulling into the parking lot,
I see the corner.
on the very far end of the parking lot, it's gonna be to your right.
Yeah.
Across the street are
Yeah,
vacant lots on that road that would not have a visual impact on the residents at that point. That's why that particular.
The dotted line of your phone back there. Behind it.
There's homes across the street.
There's homes across the street, but this is not in direct visual contact with those existing residents. It's kind of more closer to the vacant lots next to those houses that are already built there. We double checked that this morning when Matt and I drove out there to ensure that that was an appropriate location for you guys to, consider.
Right, so all the homes, most of the majority of the homes are on the opposite side, and then there's a vacant lot across the street from it, that's zoned for office commercial. It's just a dirt lot right now in the corner. And it's the highest point of the park, like was mentioned, the remainder of the park's pretty low, and it is kind of a floodplain from that ditch. So that was pretty much the only spot at that park that could potentially be.
Oh, right.
I guess it's mine. So, okay, I'm looking at it, trying to pull it up on the actual map too, and look at the height of, what I'm looking at and what's surrounding it. And I'm figuring it's obviously right off the path because it's gonna make it easier to work on when a vehicle needs to get in there, and things like that, like I've seen in the past. So I understand that. I really don't, I know that you're saying you're reaching out to the community. Are we doing a survey? I mean, are we doing it or is
The company will do our kind of oversight on
Okay.
how it's going to be managed.
and when will we see the results from the survey, Mr. Bell?
It'll be sometime in the process, but again, this is kind of the kickoff, and even the monopine itself, the tree, that can be revisited. That's just an example that they suggested, but there's light poles, there's other kind of mechanisms that we can use.
Okay.
If that stands out like a sore thumb, we can obviously come up with a different type of tree or what have you, but that was their starting point. Photoshop, what it would look like, especially for the height, that was probably the most important part of that. Okay, comparison to the existing trees.
Other than that, no, the survey is just the biggest thing. I'd like to see what the community has to say.
Yeah, absolutely.
Did you want to say something
Yeah,
else?
I have one more question. So the trees around it, I think maybe Laura can help me on this one. Trees, what are the trees around it? Will they ever get to be 65 feet tall?
Well, I doubt it because
Uh,
you need to come to the.
Well, I doubt it, because that park has already been in place for about 20 years, and as you know, a lot of those trees out in the villages, the Vincenville area are kind of stunted.
Oh,
So even if they would normally be able to be 5 feet. You know, if and when they'll get to that height.
what are they? No, they are.
No, I don't.
Oh, okay. I'll go up and check it out. Thank you.
I think it's important to note that, just as Matt was mentioning, there's different options in terms of design. It's not like this is what we're doing. So if that is a concern of not only the board, but also the public, that he would have to offer some different options for aesthetics. For the community to determine what would be, if anything, amenable to having that happen, so.
Oh, Mark, sorry. Director Matt.
These towers, are they a line of sight with other towers for them to work, or is it all satellite based?
I'm gonna say line of sight because it has to be above the tree line, but if Peter wants to chime in on that.
It is line of sight, yes.
Okay. And then with the technology that's gone with, with 5G, is there another, like how we're saying here, is there another for aesthetic look? Is there something that's shorter? A way to add it on to buildings, another route of doing that?
As far as what we're looking at here, this would be the only way to achieve the height that we need to get that line of sight to cover the area that we need to cover. There really wasn't any other options in the area to get to where we needed to be.
What about a light pole, Peter, with a light pole?
There aren't like those.
Because we do have, and the light poles are actually taller than the trees.
A light pole option is something that we could explore. Definitely, like as you said, like I said in my presentation, yeah, aesthetics, we are definitely open to options, exploring any of those. Absolutely.
Oh, I'm sorry.
But the problem is with the light pole though, that you don't have the aesthetic, you can't.
Put the fake leaves on it, or right, the limbs on there too, so that's the other issue too.
This is correct.
In the pictures they've got, like, they don't bother me as much as that one. Trees don't grow like that. They usually, they get bigger at the bottom and they grow smaller at the top.
So I would suggest, when you're driving around town, they'll stick out like sore thumbs, like when you're buying a car, all of a sudden you see that car everywhere. So take a look at some aesthetics of some existing, whether it be a tree format or a monopole. And just take note, and so when it comes back to the board, you can have just your own reference point to what you feel would be the most, I guess, aesthetically pleasing for you. So just a suggestion.
Director, did you have a comment or question?
Yeah, with the survey, how do we do it so we make sure we get like a good percentage of that community to tell us what their desires are?
Yeah, I'm not quite sure what the sphere would be as far as from that location. I mean, obviously the neighborhood and across the street would definitely have to be part of that survey. This is one, we haven't gone that far yet in this process, the cell tower, so I'm not quite sure 100% what that would be. But it would definitely include anyone that might have the site, that tree or whatever it's going to be, that would be included.
Well, we would want to make sure that they would propose it as a consultant, what they're suggesting, and we usually go a little further than that. To ensure that the coverage and or the close proximity, even a classification as a neighborhood is covered so that we, even users could be done that way. So we will absolutely require a pretty robust community outreach to get that information.
They're doing the work, obviously to come see us.
Correct, exactly. So we want to ensure that that's a very thorough and well vetted out process. Right, Peter?
Correct.
Yeah, the only thing I would add is that definitely, we're gonna have to see what the community says about that. I assume this tower is to improve coverage in the Summer Creek neighborhood.
Right.
Okay.
It's an underserved area for sure.
Yeah, I have to admit, the tree does stick out like like a fake tree.
Yeah, unfortunately, anything at 65 feet will stick out. But yeah, like I said, if a light standard would be better or more appreciated, but, we can definitely work with that. It would also come down to what city planning allows, and how they view it as well. Once we get to that, if we get to that point.
Are there any other locations in that area that could achieve this for them or for you?
This has been a very exhausted area as far as exploration goes for something like this. So we definitely have a possibility to explore other areas, possibly even within the park or deeper within the park. Really would take more knowing or working with the park district to see where we could go. If you wanted to try to push it deeper, hide it more.
I'm just wondering, is this park the only place you've looked at in the area to get this coverage? Or is this just the best place for it because of the height and its line of sight?
No, this is the park. It's fortunately in our case the most open area that we could do it and really envision putting this. And we have a search ring that's that has a pretty tight sphere that we can really work with as far as where we want to get coverage to work for us.
And just so you're aware, we did meet with them on site. Matt and myself and Jill walked the property. And so what they're proposing is, after looking at several different locations on that property, one of the major factors as to why this was located was obviously the drainage that goes into that park from the overflow for storms. The other part of it was we suggested another area that's more on the bike trail. There's this kind of undeveloped property out there, but that would have interfered with the major airport, landing thing. So there's that challenge there in that neighborhood. So we're a little restricted if we go a little bit more in that direction. And so this is kind of the best of what we were able to legitimately figure we would propose. So.
Do you know how many customers out there for T-Mobile for this? Oh, is there
It'll start with as a T-Mobile tower, but like I said, you can play and have multiple carriers on that tower. And when we get to negotiations, obviously we'll include some clauses about that to have additional rent payment.
Right.
Right, Peter?
Correct. Yeah, at 65 feet, we could support the big three carriers for sure. So really, everybody could be served at that point. And yes, that would include additional revenue to the park district.
All right, thank you. Guess we'll move on.
So proceed, and then we'll go through the process, and we'll come back with a future report.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you, Peter Perkins.
Excellent. Thank you, everyone. Have a good night.
All right, then I guess we'll move on. F committee reports, we have none. No public hearings under G, so I guess we move on to H, regular calendar.
Thank you. Item H1 is to accept the independent auditor's report and financial statements for fiscal year 2021-22 as presented. And I'll turn it back over to CFO Goodell.
All right, so tonight we have the independent auditor's report of our financial statements for fiscal year 2021-2022, ready for board review and approval. So JJA CPA was responsible for our independent auditing engagement, and that was the firm that we hired to perform it. I'm going to provide a few highlights from our finance department's perspective, and then I'll hand it over to our auditors for their analysis as well. First, if I can still all this thunder, I apologize for ahead of time, but there's no major audit findings in the report or concerns, which is my favorite one. Two, the general fund reserves increased from 4.1 to 6.5 million. If you recall, we did have a land sale, surplus land sale, Jackson Road, that we had revenue of about 1.3 million, so that's half of it. And another half was from the efficiency that we did from our budget performance last year of spending less than what we budgeted. The golf course was our enterprise fund, and we had $1.3 million in revenue for the year, so it's a fantastic year. And now we have about $1 million in reserves, which is great because we have a huge project on the horizon to take a look at our irrigation system out there to really get our greens and our tees and our fairways in good shape. And so, I'm sure we'll probably use that money sooner than later. All the funds remain within budget, and we spent about $1.6 million of those funds towards, investment in our parks for projects, excluding additional grant funding that we received. And then, the district net pension obligation, this is our unfunded liability that we have with CalPERS, currently $2.4 million, that's current and non-current, compared to $3.4 million that it was last year. And the majority of the reduction came from credit that we received through CalPERS. The actuarials over there changed assumptions. There's a lot of variables that come into that different assumptions, and it created a pension credit. So along with that, with our minimum annual payment that we are required to make, reduce that down to about $1 million. Further note, because 2.4 million sounds like a scary liability, large number, it is, but it's considered to be 85% funded of that. So meaning that we have the ability to pay off 85% of our liabilities with our current pension assets. And that's a comfortable place to be with the pension credit. That happened makes me feel even more comfortable. So we're 75% funded, now we're 85%. We never want to be in a position where we're over 100% because we're just giving our money away. We'll never refund this, so just hold on to it. And so talking with peers in the conference about CalPERS and pensions, it's good to be in that 80 to 100% range, and that's where we are. This topic, we address it as one of our kind of standing budget and finance committee topics, and we do figure out where we're at and what it means and how should we attack it at all. So it's always something that we can talk about at a committee or a later board meeting. Overall, I'm very pleased with this audit. I think it's probably the quickest turnaround that we have. We are in December and we're doing the audit, so it's fantastic. Finally, I believe that the audited statements represent the district's financial position as of June 30th, and that's the purpose of it. We submit the information to them, they verify and confirm. And with that, I would like to give our auditor, looks like we have Brett Jones in the audience today, a chance to add anything. Hi, Brett.
Hey, Matt. Thank you very much. I think Matt just covered it pretty well. I just want to highlight the fact that we issued an unmodified opinion, which is the highest opinion that we can give. So that's really, really great news. That's what you want to hear. In addition to that, we didn't have any reportable findings, no material deficiencies in controls, no significant deficiencies in controls, or nothing that we feel like is reportable to the board. So again, that's really great news. That's what you want to hear. And it's kind of what we've come to expect, working with Matt and his team for several years now. So yeah, I think Matt did a good job of highlighting all the major points during the year, so I won't follow up on those. And I'm just here for any additional questions that the board may have on the audit process. So thank you.
All right, any public?
We have no requests for comment.
All right. Start down to the next.
Thank you. Yes, I have a couple. On page 3, for the government-wide funds, what was the reference to recovery from COVID?
And I do not have it in front of me. Hold on with that. So I got my laptop. I'm guessing it's the amount that we applied for and received. Okay. Is that like 15,000? Is that what it is?
It was like for change of services, use of property, rentals, recovery from COVID, and then charges and services was programs recovery from COVID. Those grants, those like federal grants for.
Right. I know we applied for.
Yeah, it was the reimbursement that we received for submitting for COVID relief.
Okay, and so those are not payable, or do you have to pay them back?
No, those were granted to us through an application process that we competed for. We didn't really compete. They had a pot of money available for COVID relief, and we submitted our reimbursable amounts, and they paid that out to us.
And then also, I don't know with special districts, I know with California state agencies, starting this next fiscal year, they have to report lease properties, if they have mortgage payments on their financial reports. Is that something that we have to start doing next year?
Yeah, that's CASB 98, I think, where they had leases changed, and it's how you're reporting your capital operating, it kind of simplified
Yeah, now it has to be specific.
Right, right. We don't have any that really speak to those, that category that we need to do anything about.
Okay.
Yeah, we do look through all the GASB statements and comply.
Okay. That's it, thank you. Director, any questions?
No.
Director Sloan? No. Director Dancer? None, sir. And I don't have any questions either. Would anybody care to make a motion?
Make a motion.
All right.
Move that we accept the independent auditor's report and financial statement for fiscal year 2021, 2022 as presented.
Motion by Director Sloan, second by Director Danzel, roll call vote.
Director Mattis,
I'll abstain.
Director Langen,
Yes.
Director Sloan.
Aye.
Director Danzel. And Director Yearwood.
Aye.
Thank you, Brett.
Thank you.
See you before June. Have a good night.
Thank you.
We'll move on to item H2.
Thank you. Item H2 is to adopt resolution 22/23-32, approving the joint community facilities agreement for the ranch project with the city of Rancho Cordova. And guess who I'm going to turn it back over to?
I thought Patrick was up here a long time talking, but I guess, trying to beat that record. All right, so this is a joint community facilities agreement specifically for the ranch project. Staff does recommend the adoption of this resolution 22/23-32, approving the GATFA. So what exactly does that mean? So recently, this project was brought forward to the city to be approved in a manner that they can utilize the CFD process to finance acquisition and construction of certain public facilities and infrastructure. And in this case, it includes parks. And so they're asking us as the board to approve that, their ability to finance in that way. There's no financial impact to the district. There's no administrator or management on our side. This is only a mechanism that allows the bonds to be paid through special taxes. And so those will be levied on properties within the city CFD 2021-1 boundary, and again, it's managed all by the city. And so they agreed to manage all like the streets, the sewers, all the backbone infrastructure that goes into developing a brand new area to be financed through bonds. And they're asking to potentially have parks be one of the inclusion that they receive funding for, and then move those costs down the line. In the past, we have approved this process with other developments. Grant Line 208 and Montalena, I think, were the latest ones. And that's pretty much my presentation. Online, I believe we do have representation, I think from the ranch. I see that Olga's there. And David Fama from Jones Hall, who's the special counsel for the city to assist with any legal questions. I believe he's one of those phone numbers. We'll see.
Thank you. Any public comment?
I see no requests.
Move on down the dice. Director Mattis? No. Director Lang? No. Director Sloan? No. Director Dancer? No. Director Grove has none. Well, anyone care to make a motion?
I move the board of directors adopt resolution 22/23-32, approving the joint community facilities agreement for the ranch project with the city of Rancho Cordova.
Motion by Director Danzel, I'll second. Director Yearwood, roll call vote.
Director Mattis,
Aye.
Director Langen,
Aye.
Director Sloan,
Aye.
Director Danzel.
Aye.
And Director Yearwood.
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you. I guess we will move on to item H3.
Thank you. Item H3 is to authorize the general manager to execute a construction services agreement with Olympic Land Construction Incorporated in the amount of $118,650 for the W.H. Williamson Park landscaping project. And I'll turn it over to landscape architect Christina James.
Thank you, Danielle. Good evening, members of the board. At the August 17, 2022 meeting, Cordova Recreation and Park District Board of Directors approved the budget for fiscal year 22-23. Included among these projects is the west parcel of Williamson Park. CRPD staff prepared construction documents for the irrigation and landscaping portion of the project. The project was informally bid in accordance with the Uniform Public Construction Cost Accounting Act. And on Thursday, November 17th, CRPD staff received 2 bids at the district office. CRPD staff is recommending that the board approve a contract with the successful low bidder Olympic Land Construction in the amount of $118,650. Once the board authorizes the contract, CRPD staff will route it for signatures and begin managing the project through construction completion. The irrigation work is anticipated to begin in January and be complete by mid-March. And I'm happy to answer any questions the board may have.
Thank you. Any, requests for public comment?
There are no requests.
Thank you. All right. Director Mattis?
No.
Director Lang?
No.
Director Sloan?
No.
Director Danson?
I'm sorry.
I have done. Call for a motion?
I move the board of directors authorize the general manager to execute a construction services agreement with Olympic Land Construction Inc. in the amount of $118,650 for the W.H. Williamson Park landscaping project.
Second. Motion by Director Hansel, second by Director Sloan. Roll call vote.
Director Mattis?
Aye.
Director Langen?
Aye.
Director Sloan?
Aye.
Director Danzel?
Aye.
Director Yearwood?
Aye.
Thank you. Item I1A is to elect board officers for 2023. That is the secretary, vice chairperson, and chairperson. Staff recommends this process be done individually through 3 separate actions. Per our board policies, board officer elections typically take place in December. The board has historically implemented a system of rotation, but it is up to the discretion of the board. Officers serve for a period of 1 year. There is no fiscal impact associated with these elections, as board officers do not receive additional compensation. The officer duties are listed in your staff report. And just a quick logistics note, the outgoing chairperson may pass the gavel to the incoming chairperson at the conclusion of the elections. The incoming chairperson will then run the remainder of this meeting, and then the seating at the dais will change in January. Thank you.
So, secretary first. Would anybody care to make a nomination?
I nominate Director Sloan to serve as secretary of the board of directors for the term of 1 year or until election of successor.
Motion by Director Danzel. Second. Roll call vote.
Director Mattis?
Aye.
Director Langen?
Aye.
Director Sloan?
Aye.
Director Danzel?
Aye.
Director Yearwood?
Vice Chair. I'll make that motion. I'll nominate Director Danzel to serve as Vice Chairperson of the Board of Directors for a term of 1 year and until the election of a successor. I'll second that. Motion by Director Yearwood, seconded by Director Sloan. Roll call vote.
Director Mattis?
Aye.
Director Langen?
Aye.
Director Sloan?
Aye.
Director Danzel?
Aye.
Director Yearwood?
Aye. All right, Chairperson. Have a motion.
I nominate Director Yearwood to serve as chairperson of the board of directors for the term of 1 year or until the election of a successor.
Second.
All right, the motion by Director Danzel, second by Director Lang. Roll call vote.
Director Mattis?
Aye.
Director Langen?
Aye.
Director Sloan?
Aye.
Director Danzel?
Aye.
Director Yearwood?
Aye.
And now it's
All right.
Congratulations.
I've had to pass it to myself. I mean, Terry could have come up. Can we do that? Can we do that? So.
He was acting to official.
Okay. Just for fun. No. All right, so that is, all right, we did the gavel pass, so we're now moving on to I2.
Yes, thank
Okay.
you. Item I2, board member reports and comments. We're gonna break this down from item A, the training report, and I just wanted to briefly mention the required trainings for our new board members to have it on the record, and so you know that this is coming your way. These will both be offered online, but it's AB 1234 ethics, and then AB 1825 and AB 1661 sexual harassment prevention. And just briefly, AB 1234, you're required to take 2 hours of that training every 2 hours. The same is for the sexual harassment prevention training. The trigger for the ethics training is the requirement of whether our agency provides compensation to the board of directors. And we do. So look forward to those emails and setting up those trainings, hopefully within the first 30 days of your appointment. And then item B is community activities reports and comments. And I'll turn it over to Chair Yearwood to lead that.
Why, thank you. All right, well, what we normally do, guys, is we start at the end of the dais. You don't have anything to report out on. If you had anything you wanted to make a comment on, you definitely could at this time. Director Manis.
I just really want to, on the record, thank the two board members for their service for the Park District. You know, it was just amazing to come in. You guys were welcoming, and I really appreciate that, and as well as the other board members, and as well as the staff for the district as well. And I just want to thank you for that great welcome.
All right.
As well, thank you to the staff, the existing board, and then also Terry Linebach and Nez Reyes, just for just how welcoming everyone's been, and look forward to working with everyone. Thank you.
All right, so that means you're up, Secretary Sloan.
Thank you. We'll start off on November 18th. I attended a luncheon honoring Supervisor Don Tony. And I think a lot of the people were there too. And I just wanted to say that Don's been a great force and a partner that, you know, steadfast community service for the county supervisor. And you know, after 44 years in public service, he's gonna not really disappear. He's gonna go off and work on his property. I was told that he's gonna be hopefully the successor. Pat Hume will be able to wear the same size shoe. So next thing on November 27th, I attended the Cordova community tree lighting over at Village Green Park, and it was beautiful. It was chilly. I think it was kind of good, yeah. And the snow was kind of interesting. It always is, you know. And it was a festive day. I think I saw Daniel out there. Yeah, it was good. It was really a good event. Well done. Then on December 3rd, I attended the Winter Wonderland, Neil Orchard Senior Center. I think this was the first time we changed the name and we didn't call it a breakfast with Santa. And I know there was another breakfast with Santa in the community, and maybe that was a deciding factor why we didn't have a number that we had. But the people that were there, and we saw the grapevine, there was happy campers that came and enjoyed a nice breakfast and photographs with Santa, and the district did a great job. It was a nice event. And on December 6th, I attended over at McGarvey Elementary School, the community outreach meeting, grant line 208/Aristoville Center Community Park. That's where a lot of people are able to go around and put their little color dots on things that they'd like to see in their park. It's community input, which we always like to get. And that was actually I thought it was a very good turnout. I don't know how many people told me, but when I got there, there was a lot of people there. And when I took around, it was still a lot of people kind of showing up. So it was nice. I thank staff for being out there. On December 12th, I went to the annual employee recognition event at Hagen Community Park. This year we had to have it in like 3 or 4 or 5 different places. because of some COVID rules. But, it was nice, and I really thank Beach Hut Deli, because the sandwiches were delicious. And it was nice. It wasn't the same, because everybody wasn't there, and we didn't have that, competition where we're trying to make a better snowman or something, or have gingerbread out, but, maybe next year we can all be together. And, on, December 13th, I attend, but I viewed the Board of Supervisors live stream, the Jackson Township public hearing. And I'm excited about this project because I think it's been like 10 years in the making. And the County Board of Supervisors approved the Jackson Township specific plan. And the project will include 7 neighborhood parks and 1 big community park. It's going to be a lot of new work set up for the whole district and staff and everything, and a great thing for the community. I think the project was approved using park impact fees that were established in 2019, which for $8,050. And I did hear that this number will accelerate according to like inflation. So by the time they start building, that fee could be larger, correct? And there are 5 different builders, 4 different developers out there, if I was interested. So I'm not sure which one's gonna get who's gonna, that's gonna be interesting, which one decides to take that shovel first. But I did hear that the project will return to the Board of Supervisors in about 6 months. So they can develop, they have to approve the final development review. So it's recorded too, if you guys wanted to listen. I think I did a good job recording it. It's like Matt Stevens. Everything to add, feel free. Let's see.
I'll add on myself.
Okay, then the next thing on my list here. Special board meeting, we had a special board meeting, and what we did, one of our discussions was approving the major sports center turf and a SMUD easement. That's what we did. You guys can elaborate on that if you want. The next one is, the last one is, last night I attended the Bracket holiday party. Actually, I went there after the chamber party, and it was nice. It was over at Brookfield. Brookside? Brookside, right? Not Brookfield. Brookside. It used to be grass creek. It was nice little attendance of people from the Bracket community. And that's it. Thank you, Secretary.
Vice Chair. I've got a few things, Cordova community tree lighting, one of the events I've been working on for almost 15 years now. I worked on the last time it was in Old Rancho and moved it over to the park. It's an event that I just have, spent hours on, and I think I got home at close to 1 o'clock in the morning. After returning fireworks to the middle of nowhere, and when I say the middle of nowhere, I could not tell you how to get back there because it was literally drive down a dirt road in the middle of the night, and there's a gate, turn there. So
You just go off on the side of it.
yeah, exactly. No, but it was it's always a fun event. Making, it's always stressful last minute. Is everything gonna go fine? One of the 2 major events that I do work on with Cordova Community Council. Second thing, the community outreach meeting on Grant Line 208 was the sole. I like the setup that staff came up with this time, moving around the room, getting things done, being able for the people to actually talk to architects, talk to our staff, figure out what they want and how to go about getting it and giving their input. I think that's so much better than cramming things down people's throats in a format where I'm sitting here yelling at them. They're talking to them, and this is we need your input. I think it's better to get that input right off the bat. So I think staff did a great choice doing it that way. Winter Wonderland, it's not an event I always go to, I try to, sometimes the month of December gets kind of crowded in my house, but obligations this year I was able to because it was pouring down rain, so the normal obligations got thrown out the window, so I went to breakfast. And it was good, sausage was questionable, but the rest of it was, but it was good. Yes. I did last minute get invited to the City Ranch Cordova's holiday party and I would say goodbye to their city manager. It was well attended. And it was just, it was nice to see city staff getting together and enjoying their holidays and being recognized by, their electeds and their administration. And then goodbye to Cyrus at the same time. And let's see, last but not least for me was a special meeting December 14th. As Director or as Secretary Sloan said, we talked about the Mayfair Sports Complex. I know Director Mathis and Director Lang were both there as community members at that point. And I thank you both for being there and listening. And Director Mathis, I appreciate your comments that night of, that this is something the community needs, and we all knew it. We just had to get the funding for it. So now that we've got ways of paying for it, this is going to be something that's going to, we're going to turn and burn on, because the district does not like to try and make things wait once we've got the ability to do it. So we're going to get going there. So that is the end of my report.
Wonderful.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Wonderful. Yes. All right. Well, I thought the Dawn's luncheon happened before our last meeting, but apparently I did also attend the luncheon for Dawn. It was nice, nice event. Unfortunately, he ran out of time. He had so many years of history. I don't remember what decade he got to, but he had a few decades to get through when it was time to wrap up the event. So I could just imagine sitting down and talking to him for a while about everything he's done and seen. So that was a nice event. I also attended the community tree lighting at the Village Arena on November 27th. It's always a wonderful event. It's great that there was no rain. The weather was really nice, but by the time at the end, it was pretty chilly. But I'm always amazed how many people you can fit into that park. Every time I hear from multiple people, I didn't see you there. Well, I didn't see you there either. There's just a massive humanity. So, but it was wonderful. It was interesting. I was talking to a few people I knew since high school that came for the first time, and I'm like, oh, well, after the tree lighting, there'll be fireworks. They're like, fireworks. I said, Rancho Cordova loves its fireworks. We do fireworks for almost everything. So they were very impressed. I also attended the Winter Wonderland event on December 3rd. I got that rain that day was unbelievable. It was a smaller event this year, I think, with us not doing it for a couple of years and renaming and competition with other that may have led to it not being as well attended as years past. But I think we'll get there again once people remember we were doing it. So enjoyed a breakfast with Secretary Danzel. Well, or Vice Chair, sorry, you're right. Vice Chair. I believe you were secretary back then though. But anyways, and there was no concern of getting any kind of E-coli from the sausage. It was well prepared. And let's see here. I attended the community outreach meeting at Grant Line 208 Arista del Sol Community Park at Robert J. McGarvey on the 6th. It was a nice, like I said, it was a nice event. I liked the stations where people could go around and ask different people questions. So they were maybe all staged or queued up in one spot. So many dots. But, yeah, so I'm also impressed with that ceiling fan they had. I would have liked to have turned that thing on to see what would have happened. That is, if you ever get a chance, go to Robert J. McGarvey Elementary School and look at that ceiling fan. It's ginormous. And let's see here. Oh, the special board meeting on December 14th. I'm very happy to see we're doing renovations at the Mayfair Sports Complex on those turf fields. I remember sitting at a meeting in middle school. I don't even remember how long ago when they were talking about what to do out there. And originally, those fields were going to all be turf. And there was a discussion of making them synthetics. And Because originally they were gonna be turf. Yeah, so synthetics, and now it's time to fix them up a little bit after all that they definitely get used. That is all I have. So, does that mean we're moving on to? Looks like we're moving on to item J, comments by staff by non-agenda item.
Yes, thank you. Item J1 is the district-wide monthly progress report for December, and I'll turn it over to General Manager Larkin.
Thank you, Clerk Jones. Congratulations to all the executive board members and welcome to the new board members. So I'll just highlight some things from the past month. Director Sloan, or Secretary Sloan, mentioned the meeting that the Board of Supervisors had related to the Jackson Township development. That meeting was their presentation of the specific plan for that particular development area. Included in that specific plan was our park impact fee, as well as the amount that was proposed in the negotiation. So as we all remember, it is not the CRPD Nexus study impact fee. Once the Board of Supervisors did not approve that fee, we decided to go developer by developer by developer, which is still fine. So the actual title of that park impact fee is through what they call the Jackson Township, I guess, specific plan fee. And what they did is included in that was other utilities, was their plans, and the Board of Supervisors did approve that. The number that was included in those calculations were numbers from 2019. So those figures, as Secretary Sloan was mentioning, is when they put the shovel in the ground, there will be accelerators every year on that amount from 2019. Because you have to mark it in a point in time for you to move it forward. So there has been some significant increases in acceleration with inflation lately. So when it comes time for them to, as I said, put the shovel in the ground and do these park developments, that fee will actually be accelerated to the amount will be calculated from all of those years of inflation. So we have spent, oh my gosh, how long has that been? For 10 years maybe? To come to the conclusion that we are pretty close to what our Nexus study was dictating our fee should be. We did negotiate with the developer on getting a fee very close to that fee. And so we should have some very good high standard parks going into that area when the time comes. So I'm happy to report that. And I'm sure Laura is as well. And thank you to the county staff as well for working with us and getting through all of those difficult conversations with that developer. So kudos to everyone. I did attend the Visit Rancho Cordova Board of Directors meeting. I'm on their advisory board, so I attended that meeting for the month of November. We also had the City of Rancho Cordova had a city council meeting. It was a workshop on the Rancho Cordova Little League proposal. So the city staff proposed what was the initial, conceptual design that our board has approved, and then they offered a different option for a juniors field or a majors field over at Mitchell Middle School. So the staff presented those options for the city to consider, and then during the meeting, it was something that was brought up that the city was directing staff to go back to our staff and have us consider possibly landing that particular field on Allstra to keep the entire complex at one location. So we actually met with the city staff this afternoon. We are open, of course, to that conceptual idea and that plan. So next steps we discussed were for the city to work with their consultant, LPA, who they've been working with for years on this project. And they will, after we do a walkthrough of the property to kind of see what some of those ideas are with Rancho Cordova PD, because we want to take this as an opportunity to make it a safer park, a safer opportunity for everyone. So we're asking that PD join us on that tour, as well as our arborist, who they have on staff that will guide us as to whether those trees are protected trees and what have you, so we can all kind of move this along a little faster than maybe it has been going. So once we do the walkthrough, they'll do a conceptual design, talk about what that might look like. From there, they will do what they call ROM, rough magnitude of costs. What is it? Thank you. I'm losing my mind here. So, where they basically will kind of calculate how much that will be. And then they'll bring that proposal to the city council, see if they have an appetite for that amount with those changes. And then from there, if they're good to go, we will go to our community engagement meeting, bringing out that concept to the community, making sure that they're aware of it. We will take the lead on the community outreach portion, and then expect for the school district and the city to support those efforts in getting the feedback from the community, especially those neighbors in that area. From there, we will evaluate what that feedback is. And if there's any tweaks that need to be made, we can do a little adjustment. And we're hoping to see it come back to this board, since it is CRPD property, for some type of discussion as to whether or not this board feels that that proposal would be something that would be beneficial to the community. So I'm excited about this. I think it's a great opportunity for us to relook at this project. It has been quite a while. And so we are open to having those discussions. So that's my report on that topic, which I believe will be probably a hot topic for 2023. In addition to that, the city had asked that the Little League group come up with a list of improvements they'd like to see happen prior to opening day 2023. Staff has received that list from the Little League, and we're looking at working with the city staff on how we go about reimbursement or payment for those improvements that they're requesting. So a lot of good stuff happening over there at Ulster Park. The other thing that I am so happy to report is we donated Target gift cards for the unhoused students at Folsom Cordova Unified School District as our sister group that we have supported for years now. Last year, we raised $950 in Target gift cards to go to the unhoused students and their families. And this year, I'm happy to report, we donated $1,420 in Target gift cards. And as you know, that is generated from the staff and the board. So I want to thank the board and the generosity of our staff, of course, for that amazing donation for those people that are in need. So as you know, this is really near and dear to a lot of our, especially our park staff, where they're out there, every day, and they're seeing these folks sometimes in our parks or in the parking lot in their vans, and they're living there. And their generosity really means a lot to them. And so they can see kind of that high touch, and it's important for them to be able to do that. So we will continue that relationship. Andrea, Matt, and I had gone down to Folsom Cordova to distribute those gift cards, and they were thrilled. So thank you guys for doing it last Friday. In terms of other great news, our amazing Clerk Jones has been selected to serve on the Elections and Bylaws Committee and the Professional Development Committee for California Special Districts Association for a 2023 term. So I'm excited for her. She is amazing, as you all know, and I'm excited for her to share her wisdom and mentor some other clerks that might be new to the field. And I think she's going to be amazing. So thank you and congratulations on that new appointment. Let's see, we will be onboarding our new guys with a formal orientation coming up in January. We got a lot to go over, but I will chunk it in a way that is digestible and manageable. And I encourage you guys to continue to learn and ask questions. So that's how we can best move you along as quickly as possible. So I'm excited for that. We have some closures for the holidays coming up. So on page 85 of my report, the holiday closures are listed there. And in park planning and development, the progress made at Williamson Park is going along quite well. The monument sign was delivered and installed. We drilled additional irrigation, or I should say, drainage holes. We had one drainage hole, and then we had this huge torrential downpour. So there was a pond out there. So we're like, oh man, we need more drainage. So we drilled 3 additional holes out there. So thank you for modifying the design. I guess it was a godsend that we had the rain come to know that we needed to do that. So we have started the sound wall construction, which began in November. And tonight you approved the irrigation, so we should be moving along quite quickly. The plan is after the irrigation is installed, we'll be looking for a tree planting, shrub planting, mulch moving event with the community to get it ready for the opening in the spring. So we want to engage our community. We'll be reaching out to Williamson Elementary School, which is the same family to which this park is dedicated to see if they're open to helping us out with that tree planting event. So I encourage you to join us as well, of course. We have also another great project. An Eagle Scout member a while back had asked to see if we would be interested in supporting their project. And their project was to fund a binocular station at Heron Landing Park. We have that amazing opportunity at that park towards the back to have that wetlands. And so they're like, well, I think it'd be really cool to have binocular stations like the Eiffel Tower and right there checking stuff out. So they raised funds and they did a great job raising the funds, and we matched those funds to support the project. And we've ordered the binoculars at this point, and so we're just waiting for them delivered. The family is ecstatic that they're like, I can't believe this happened. And so we're super excited that we're able to add that amenity to Heron Landing Park. And once it's installed and all that, we'll have a nice little ceremony with the family to thank them for fundraising for that new amenity. And the big news, I think this is kind of the big news for the year. I will let you share, so I'm going to turn it over to Jill Nuns for her report.
Wait, somebody else is, you're not gonna steal the thunder.
No, this one is too good for me. So she's got to do that.
No, okay.
Good evening, Chair Ewart, members of the board. I do have some great news. So tonight I am happy to report that we have received a grant from the California State Parks. This new program is funded through a grant from the Outdoor Equity Grants Program, created through AB 209 and administered by California State Parks, Office of Grants and Local Services. So CRPD was awarded $347,000, $347,550 to be used towards programs for local activities in nature and outdoor trips for the underserved in our community. So we are so excited for this grant. The program offerings are going to be subsidized by the grant funding and offered free of charge or with only a nominal fee attached. Elements include tree plantings, creek cleanup, overnight camping trips, hiking excursion, bike rides, workshops, and more. So we're calling it the Outdoor Adventures, led by a teen adventure group. And this is going to be a new established teen adventure group that we are creating right now. It includes activities designed specifically for youth and teens, as well as activities for other age groups. We're calling it TAG for short. So TAG members will work with CRP staff on all programming and learn how to plan and execute events, participate in mentoring and career workshops, and address prominent youth and teen related issues, all while creating long-lasting memories through outdoor adventures. And so information regarding our Outdoor Adventures program will be available in our upcoming spring and summer recreation guide, and also going to be available on our website. So a big thank you to Andrew Saltmarsh, who is part of our park planning department. He really spearheaded putting together this grant, and without him and his efforts, I'm sure that we would have struggled to get the grant. So thank you, Laura Taylor, for letting us, have Andrew Saltmarsh be a part of this program. And with Andrew and the rest of the recreation staff,
we're excited to hit the ground running and use that almost $350,000 to bring our community some outdoor programs. And I can tell you, being from Colorado, this really hits home for me. And so I'm excited for our community, and that we're going to be able to obviously get them outdoors in some adventures. And so look forward to reporting back on all the programs that we're going to have over the next several years. So this is a grant that basically we have a couple of years to spend the money. We're going to hire a program coordinator who's going to go ahead and really help us administer and put together the program along with our recreation staff. So yay, grants for us. Woo! You'll see a press release come out this Friday talking about the grants and how exciting it is going to be for this community. But if anyone has any questions, certainly let me know. I'm happy to answer those. So great job to all of the staff. Community events, like we've mentioned before by a couple of our board members, we had the Winter Wonderland over at the Neil Orchard Senior Activity Center. We did have 83 participants who enjoyed, again, cake breakfast, crafts, and photo booth with the clauses. So in recreation, we had several programs throughout the month of November, including several programs, team programs, as well as our Camp Cordova fall break. You can read through some of those other programs in your board packet. In adult sports, we are just bringing in the adult softball teams. So they will be even more excited when they get to play on brand new turf in the spring. So thank you for approving the brand new infield turf at the Mather Sports Complex. But we have 52 men's and co-ed teams registered for one of the largest winter doubleheader leagues that we've had over at the Mather Sports Complex. We also have a new tennis instructor who will be putting on a program called Healthy Tennis for Senior Adults. It's a new tennis instructor for us, which we're excited as we continue to grow our tennis program. They will be held over at the Heron Landing Community Park tennis courts. And these classes start with the basics of tennis and then move into more advanced techniques. We also have a facility rental throughout November with the Re-Embrace organization that serves families of individuals with disabilities throughout the Sacramento area. And they hosted a basketball league at the Mather Sports Center on Sunday afternoon. So we were happy to see that they were able to come over to the Mather Sports Center and utilize that space for their program. Over at the Neil Orchard Senior Activity Center, November is a busy month for Heather and her staff. They celebrated the Veterans Day on November 9th. It was a wonderful celebration in honor of our veterans. We had 96 participants attend and 35 military veterans. Big thanks to everyone who helped out. That's a very large event for us. We also hosted on November 16th the Thanksgiving feast that had 94 participants enjoyed Thanksgiving feasts with all the food, turkey, and the Rancho Cordova Rotary helped with the food service for that day. Lots going on over at Neil Orchard Senior Activity Center. Now they're on a break, a much needed break for a little while, and then we'll come back in January with programming again. Marketing Communications was out at the Cordova Community Council's Christmas tree lighting to provide information on all of our CRPD parks, events, programs, and then we also had a booth out there for the optimized plan. In parks, over at the Larchmont Community Park, this past summer, beginning of fall, we did resurface the tennis courts over at that park. Also included pickleball lines within those tennis courts. And the last part of that project was to paint the light poles. And during that process, we decided to go ahead and change out the lamps to have LED lighting, and it looks fantastic. So if you get a chance to go over Larchmont in the evening and you put on the lights, you'll see how nice those LED lights are. And we'll continue to do those types of, switching out of the bulbs as we can throughout our park system when we can and when it's available. And then over at Prospect Hill Park, we've been talking about this for a little bit. We also have resurfaced the basketball courts. So this is another planned capital improvement project that was completed in November. We hired that contractor to remove all the old asphalt from the court, added new asphalt, and then striped the new basketball court lines. And then this spring, once the weather permits, the court will be resealed and restriped. And at the same time, we also decided to repair about a little bit less than 400 square feet of asphalt pathways around the park. And then once spring arrives, we'll also be resealing that pathway as well. And then over at the golf course, November was another great month for golf. Even as the holidays hit, the golf course saw an increase of 11% over last year. And then for the first time, we had a Cordova golf course inaugural Ambassador Cup for golf tournament for all of our amazing volunteers. If you've been over the golf course, you will quickly see that our volunteers are a huge help in helping us run and operate the golf course, whether it be the marshals, whether it be the beautification team. It's just, we can't do it without them. For us to be able to really celebrate them and have this tournament. So the 24 volunteers teed it up against the team of the golf course manager, Daryl, and our golf course superintendent, VJ, and one of our professionals, Denise, and they had a great time. And so I'm glad that we're able to do that. I'm glad they had a great time. And again, if you're out there and you see them, please extend your thanks to all of the hard work they do for our golf course every single year. And then for your board of directors special event invitation, we do have the Polar Bear Plunge coming up on Saturday, January 14th. At 9 a.m.
Oh, there you go.
I think if we roll back the film, you are on film saying that when the new Cordova community pool opened, that you would be part of the Polar Bear Plunge. So we will see you at 9 a.m. on Saturday, January 14th. And of course, we hope to see all of you that day. And no, we are not heating the pool. The pool will not be heated. It will be cold because it's a polar bear plunge, but we'll have a lot of fun as always. So I hope you all can attend. And then we have the Lunar New Year celebration at the Neal Orchard Senior Activity Center on Wednesday, January 25th at 11 a.m. And that concludes my report. Thank you. Sure.
Great report. It was so optimistic. It was fantastic and you covered a lot of ground. But there's one ground we keep missing, and when you talk about senior adults and tennis, I think the tide is starting. I think even in the California Recreation and Park book, they have tennis versus pickleball. And I think that's something we have to think of the future of getting a couple courts done so we can have the same offer for the adult seniors that have hip problems.
Yes. So as we know, I mean, we are in planning to have future pickleball courts. And for right now, we have 3 locations that have both the tennis court lines as well as the pickleball lines. And we do have programming that is in our guide that we have been offering for pickleballers, and we'll continue to work on getting pickleballers out and included in some of those programs. Yeah. Thank you.
All right, so
Let's try that again.
all right, I guess we're moving on to item K.
Yes, thank you. Item K1 is the articles, correspondence, and public outreach. We have 3 articles, 1 letter, 2 newsletters, and then K2 is your calendar.
Excellent. I wonder what's next. Oh, item L, adjournment. So, all right, so I just will adjourn this meeting till the next regular meeting of the Board of Directors of the Cordova Recreation Park District. And it is on Wednesday, January 18th, 2023. Yeah.
Happy holidays, everyone.